Well, Biscayne Bay is still reeling, of course, from that second fish kill in as many years. Marine life continues to struggle with the current degradation of the watershed. And though it's mostly those bottom dwellers and slow-moving fish that have died during these catastrophic events, scientists are very worried about the impact being felt by all life in the bay.
Indeed. In tonight's Don't Trash Our Treasure, we head back out on the water with researchers from FIU studying how our dolphins are surviving through these very challenging times.
These are the real Miami dolphins.
They are, for many, the most beloved marine mammals living in Biscayne Bay. South Florida's unofficial mascot. But for how much longer?
We think that there's about 150 animals across the entire bay.
Dr. Jeremy Kiska is the lead dolphin researcher at FIU's Institute of Environment.
Hi.
Currently collaborating on a NOAA study launched in 1990 documenting the Biscayne Bay dolphin population.
Hi, babies.
We simply want to understand where these animals are, how many there are, and how they use their habitats.
It is urgent research. With the health of the bay rapidly declining,
Yes,
Kiska is worried about the future of the population.
they live in a really challenging environment. Biscayne Bay dolphins don't have an easy life.
And it's getting harder every day. Their foraging habitats are disappearing fast. Many of the seagrass beds in the northern bay now gone because of all the land-based pollutants that continue to flow into the watershed.
They really depend on seagrass because in seagrass beds you have the food, dolphin food, you have fish.
As the seagrass disappears, so will the fish, and so too will the dolphins who feed on them.
What we're trying to understand is how these animals respond to all these disturbances that are happening in the bay.
Once a week, Dr. Kiska and his team set out on the bay to find and record as many dolphins encounters as they can. On this day, we get very lucky.
You're super cool, yes. Woohoo!
45 minutes into our journey, we find our first pod, foraging for food just south of the Rickenbacker Causeway.
Now these are bottom dropping.
We observe but try to keep our distance so as not to disturb them.
Approach respectfully.
But before long, these naturally curious, charismatic cetaceans come in for a closer look. It is pay dirt for Kiska, who photographs each animal, cataloging them, creating a Biscayne Bay dolphin census.
Well, the dorsal fin of dolphins is like their fingerprint. So we can identify each of the animals in Biscayne Bay by the shape and the notches and nicks that they have on the trailing edge of the dorsal fins.
Before long, our boat is surrounded, and we realize it's not just one pod, but two who have come together to feed.
There are dolphins everywhere around this boat. There's got to be at least 15 dolphins, if not more.
Yeah.
The good news is we saw at least 5 calves in this group.
And whenever we see females with calves, we're really excited because it shows that the population is reproducing.
Still, it is an uphill struggle for the Biscayne Bay dolphins. There are more boaters than ever before, and more pollution.
There's pollution. Pollution is a problem that affects reproduction. And there's disturbance. Whenever people, and there are too many boats on the water, they approach the animals too close, they disrupt their behavior.
The 1972 Marine Mammal Protection Act mandates that the public stay 50 yards away when observing dolphins in the wild. But if we're really going to protect them, we'll have to do a lot more than just keep our distance. Our activity, not just on water but on land, has a direct impact on the survival of the population. Kiska says the future of the Biscayne Bay dolphins depends on all of us.
If the bay is polluted, well, these animals are not going to be able to survive that long. So if we're not protecting Biscayne Bay and their habitat, they will disappear one day.
Kiska is advocating that parts of Biscayne Bay be designated a marine protected area to give the bay and its marine life a break from all the human pressure. Meanwhile, lawmakers both at the state and local levels are looking into shutting down the bay's spoil islands to all motorboaters and all watercraft users to lessen the pollution load strangling the watershed.
That's incredible. Only 150 in
Only
Biscayne
150, and that's not even an accurate count. And we don't know how all of these changes are affecting the population.
Wow.
It's very scary.
That is very frightening.